What's up, Acolyte Squad? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. Hey, man, Cobra Kai is back at the number one spot over on Netflix. When season one and season two hit Netflix, when they made the move over from YouTube TV, it quickly hit number one. And now that season three is out, it is retaking that top spot. But I mean, like with all things geek related, there are always going to be critics, people who didn't like it. And in this case, there are critics who feel like Cobra Kai is too white. Yes, you heard it here. There are people who have been outspoken about Cobra Kai having too many white people, even though the star of Cobra Kai is Ecuadorian character Miguel. Sorry, I started to say Latino and Ecuadorian at the same time. I was going to call him L'Ecuadorian. Right. So before I dive into that, hey man, I just want to ask you guys, you like this Goku shirt I'm rocking? I'm like all about Dragon Ball. I'm like more Dragon Balled out than some of the Dragon Ball YouTubers. I'm even here sipping on some Dragon Ball Z tea, right? What y'all think of this? One of the things I really like about Dragon Ball is the emphasis on fitness, right? Goku is constantly training to be the strongest, the best, the baddest warrior in the universe, along with the other Z warriors. There's constant emphasis on training. And I'm saying that, one, because there's a lot of emphasis on Cobra Kai, especially with the All Valley tournament that they're heading into come season 4, right? But I'm working on this thing, training related, trying to help people become the biggest, the baddest warriors. It's called 12-Week Superhero. Now, look, I can't promise you guys that you're going to lose 10 pounds in 60 days, anything like that. This program, the whole purpose is, hey, man, just like the actors get ready to be a superhero in the movies, that's kind of what we're trying to do, except you're at home because, hey, man, we got coronavirus and all the gyms are closed, right? So like my man, Rodney Brown, somebody like that would be perfect for this program. He's got a home gym. He's got, exercise machines, weights, kettlebells, but even somebody who's a bit of a minimalist like myself here in Thailand, where all I've got is some resistance bands, some kettlebells and calisthenics. Hey, man, even a minimalist can do this program, and it's actually designed for the minimalist. So look, I can't promise you any results. That's why I'm asking you guys if you can help me out. Look, there are 3 phases. It's strength, muscle endurance, and athleticism. Those are the 3 phases that it works on. And, just like how Steve Rogers stepped into the Vital Ray machine and turned into Captain America, but he didn't know what was going to happen. That's the same thing I'm saying to you guys. I really don't know what's going to happen. That's why I need you guys to help me test it out for the community. So, hey, man, if that sounds like something you're interested in checking out, hey, man, there's a link in the comments section of the video. Click that, fill out the form. I'll be in touch with you for step number 2. But anyway, so this article appeared in the LA Times. I'm not going to read the entire article. Hey man, I done upgraded myself. I'm just going to read the highlighted portions. Now, we know that Cobra Kai is back. Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso from the first Karate Kid movie, they tried to branch out, do other things with their career, but here we pick up with the highlighted proportion, and probably the duo of Daniel and Johnny, William Zabka and Ralph Macchio, have slipped back into their roles decades later on Cobra Kai, in which the middle-aged Johnny, a down-and-out alcoholic stuck in the glory days of his youth and still stinging from his defeat at the '84 All-Valley Karate Tournament, takes on his own teen protege, Miguel Diaz, and reopens the dojo where he learned his all-American style of no mercy karate. Daniel, meanwhile, is a bonsai-pushing car salesman, milking his karate glory to promote his business. Now, these are likable characters with high energy fights in the series. There's a suburban melodrama, and this 80s dad rock have fueled the 3 seasons of Cobra Kai to date, with a 4th already planned. Yes, season 4, Netflix already greenlit it, and from what I'm hearing this week is that they have finished writing season 4, and now they're just kind of waiting for the second wave of coronavirus to die down so that they can start arranging, getting ready to film it, right? So, maybe we'll have Cobra Kai season 4 next year sometime in 2022. All right, so there's also a semi-satirical approach to slinging nostalgia while expanding the Karate Kid mythology into a multi-generational saga, and it's proven popular with audiences. Season 1, the first episode of season 1 when the show first kicked off, hit 98 million views, and like I said, it is back in the top spot. Season 3 is back in the top spot on Netflix now. And it's number 1 on Netflix in the US. I don't know. I've got Netflix Asia region, and I don't know what spot it's in because I just went straight there looking for Cobra Kai, right? But this article points out it's examining how Johnny and Daniel each remain chained to the past. That was the big thing in season 1, well, really throughout the series so far. For example, was a fertile springboard for contrasting how their worldviews have diverged so starkly. So looking at how they've gone on these different paths since 1984, the All Valleys, we've, through going back and looking back at that time, you can kind of start to see. And then specifically with Johnny, right, they've had to do flashbacks to give us even more of his story because the Karate Kid was, it was Daniel LaRusso's story. We saw everything from his point of view. He was the hero, and completely just glossed over the fact that, Johnny was his geek too, and he was at one time the Daniel LaRusso, and he didn't have a Mr. Miyagi. He had a John Kreese who, was the sensei, the mentor who elevated him to the three-time, what was he, two-time or three-time defending All Valley karate champion, right? And then, he got drunk with his buddies, missed Allie's birthday, broke up with her, tried to make up with her, and Daniel swooped in and took her away from Johnny, right? And, and that's pretty much just about every 80s story is boy likes girl has a bully boyfriend, or there's a bully, and then he spends the whole time trying to figure out a way to fight the bully and win the girl, right? Or in Daniel's case, it was fight the bully and keep the girl, right? But anyway, so in the series' heightened karate-obsessed version of the San Fernando Valley, ex-jock Johnny teaches his aggressive style to a school of misfits while Daniel revives Miyagi-Do in his late mentor's memory. As their bitter rivalry escalates, Cobra Kai explores more complex emotions as characters learn the hard way that there are no bad students, only bad teachers, and that violent karate brawls do, in fact, have grave consequences, right? So that's like been a lesson in all of the Karate Kid movies, with the exception of the Hilary Swank Karate Kid 4 movie. And I say that because I don't know if that's a thing, because I've never seen that one. I think I watched it in the military. I own the DVD, but I tried to watch it once, and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep before, and not because it's a bad movie. I fell asleep before the opening credits were finished. Like I put it on and slept through it, never seen it, and my DVDs are back in America, so I pretty much don't have them anymore because I pretty much bid adieu to all of my belongings that I didn't bring with me, and I'm okay with that. I do want to go back and watch that because of something that this brings up at the end of the article that I'll talk on when I get there, that has something to do with why I kind of disagree with this article, criticizing the show for being too white, right? So they jump forward. They say the key to the series remains its deft interweaving of past and present with the DNA of the original films. After bringing back Karate Kid villain John Kreese, who's played by Martin Kove, who promptly orchestrates a hostile takeover of Johnny's students, Cobra Kai doubles down on the sadistic dojo's founders' Vietnam War backstory in its third season, and they did an excellent job with that. Kreese's elevation and the heightened scrutiny that comes with being embraced by one of the most powerful companies in Hollywood also underscores the fact that there are now three white men at the center of Cobra Kai, a franchise rooted in and deeply indebted to Eastern tradition, right? So this is where we start to get into people, is it cultural appropriation? We got this show about karate in the, San Fernando Valley, and the most important, the most powerful characters are white men. And I'm kind of like, oh, well, here we go. All right, now, except for the Latino character Miguel, all the other people of color are outside of the main cast. So it actually doesn't show as a diverse show. It doesn't show as a diverse show in a sense, said Ana Cristina Ramon, co-author of UCLA's annual Hollywood Diversity Report, which designates leads as the top 8 credited regular actors. Now, across the industry, the report found that white characters made up basically 76% of the leads in digital scripted series like Cobra Kai in the 2018-2019 season, while roughly 6% of the leads were Latinx, and just under 5% were black, and just under 2% were Asian. A number of critics have taken notice of the series' whiteness as well. Salon Culture senior editor Han Nguyen, who has been critical of the series in the past, told the Times that the only main character of color who has any sort of interiority is Miguel. Danny LaRusso, Italian kid from Jersey, as Vanity Fair's Sonia Saraya put it about the first 2 seasons, is the most Japanese character on this show. As Times critic Lorraine Alley writes, Cobra Kai has successfully mined laughs and pathos from Johnny's transformation through his proximity to an immigrant family. It's also scrutinized how Kreese's brand of karate perpetuates a cycle of militant, toxic masculinity, but it has been slow to explore Daniel's own blind spots, beyond a moment of clueless sushi splaining and his bewilderment that his karate chopping commercials might be seen as cultural appropriation. Now, I mean, in the they did dive into that, right? He couldn't understand how people would view him karate chopping in the commercials as cultural appropriation, because it's like, well, I'm a 2-time All Valley karate champion, right? That's my whole gimmick, is karate's big in the Valley, and people still walk around and call me champ. I'm the karate champion, and now I sell cars, and so I literally do chop the prices. We kick the competition. It's not a gimmick. It's not cultural appropriation. That's who I am. You can't help it that he's Italian kid from Jersey, and he had this surrogate father who was Japanese who took him under his arm. I mean, what if we had this in a different scenario? What if Daniel was like Kwai Chang Caine, where like, Kwai Chang Caine from Kung Fu the Legend, where, you got David Carradine, this white dude, but I think Kwai Chang Caine is supposed to be like half Chinese or something, and, grew up in the Shaolin Temple, or, please forgive me if I'm messing this up. I have actually never seen Kung Fu the Legend, and I know, Prince, you got to see it, buddy. No, I don't need to see it, because, everybody knows that Kung Fu the Legend was taken from Bruce Lee's idea. And, I had somebody cuss me out and tell them, because I told them they didn't know Tai Chi on my other channel. They probably watch this channel too. So, if you talk big in the comments, I'm gonna laugh at you here, just like I laughed at you there. And, they were like, oh, you're telling me I don't know Tai Chi? Homeboy, don't you know that I have David Carradine's Tai Chi DVD series or whatever? I'm like, yeah, I have that too. It sucks. And David Carradine didn't know Tai Chi, but I'm happy that, the late David Carradine, who, passed away somewhere here in Thailand, getting suffocated by some bar girl that he bar fined. I'm happy that him playing that part made him explore the arts. I don't know how much he explored them, but at least, he appeared to have gotten deeper into that. But let's just say for the sake of things, that this character, Daniel LaRusso, maybe his mom, he's a younger kid when they moved to, I know I'm changing everything about the Karate Kid, but, or no, if we had a case where, see, I didn't want to talk about Dre yet, but Dre Parker, the Kung Fu Kid, but the Karate Kid with the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, where he gets immersed into the culture, right? He goes to China. So it's like, if he comes back to America later, goes back to Detroit, opens up a wushu school, or goes to California, something that, let me get through this. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back. I promise I'm gonna come back to that, because I know I hope somebody wants to hear what I'm about to say. But I'm just gonna say, if this was different, where, Mr. Miyagi was his surrogate father, but what if Daniel was in a situation where, like Karate Kid 2, he goes to Okinawa and he doesn't come back for like 10 years. And then he finally comes back, things don't work out with, what's her name, Yuki, or I forgot his girlfriend's name, and the girl he liked, I'm not going to say his girlfriend, the girl he kissed and, fought to the death for her honor, right, in Karate Kid 2 against Chosen. What if he stayed there in Okinawa or stayed in Japan for like 10 years and then comes back? There's no Karate Kid 3 or Karate Kid 3. I don't know, there's another threat to Miyagi-Do karate, or, he fights in a tournament in Japan or something, right? It's like Karate Kid 1 all over again, except now he's in Japan and everybody's like doper than everything else. And instead of, now it's like he's the outsider, because Japan is kind of a homogenous culture, right? And, he's an outsider. I started to say he's a Guilo, but that's Chinese, right? But, he's in some area where they're still they're hostile against Americans because of Pearl Harbor, all of that. And so, and then he comes back and it's like, well, he's been fully immersed in the culture in Japan, right? It's not cultural appropriation. That's who he is, right? This whole cultural appropriation thing, like, I understand it's a real thing, right? You got white girls on Instagram and whatnot, these Instagram models that put all kinds of bronzer on, and everybody thinks they're black. And then the minute they take a shower and peel all that shit off, they're whiter than my hand. And I know it's dark in here, but my hand is pretty white. They start out looking like this, and then they take a bath and their whole body looks like this, right? So I understand that's a real thing. People got upset when Adele had her hair in the little Bantu knots when she went to, something in Jamaica or somewhere, and maybe she thought she got a pass because she sings kind of black music, and I think her husband's black, or a dude, or whatever, baby daddy. I don't know. I don't pay attention. So I understand it's a real thing, but at some point, like, this is who we are. Like, I remember some loser in the Fandom Menace accused me of cultural appropriation because in my Twitter bio, it says, I like Asian food. And they're like, see, you talk about all this stuff, you're SJW, and here you are, you're guilty of cultural appropriation. I'm like, well, my wife is Asian, and when she cooks, she mostly cooks Asian food. So, if I don't like Asian food, there might be a problem, right? Especially when I better like eating Asian. We won't go into them details though. All right, let's go. Let's go on to this. I'm completely off the dome this evening. All right, so getting back to what I mentioned about Karate Kid 2. So I've read this article and I'm like trying not to jump all over the place and go off the dome too much, because like I've already talked about this, but we're going to get through it, right? I think we're almost through with everything I've highlighted, the important stuff that I want to talk about. All right, so sending Daniel back to Okinawa in the third season to reunite with Kumiko I said Yumi. It's Kumiko. I should be able to remember that because my best friend's name is Sumiko. Her name is Kumiko. Kumiko. Sumiko. Right? Kumiko and Chosen is a step in that direction, allowing the show to feel what was missing, said Hild. To acknowledge that there's a big missing piece of Mr. Miyagi and come to the point of appreciating that it's not just Mr. Miyagi, it's everything that he touched and that touched him. The return which Ralph Macchio himself had pushed for and on which Tomita and Okumoto consulted results in some of the series' most resonant payoffs. I wanted him to evolve as a character, said Okumoto of the once dangerously prideful Chosen. I didn't want him just to be there as a person to push the story along. I wanted him to go through a journey, to go through a soul searching. And I feel like that episode with Chosen was one of the best. That was one of the best episodes of the series, right? It had some action. It had a nice payoff. It set up something like I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely knew when Chosen showed him like the secret Miyagi-Do techniques that Mr. Miyagi never showed Daniel. Yes, we have killing techniques, but we don't use them to actually kill. We just use them to take the fangs off of the cobra so that they can't kill, they can't bite, right? And I'm like, I think he's going to use that on somebody, and he did, and then he did, but he didn't. He set up Kreese, and it would kind of like let Kreese know, you might not want to mess with Daniel LaRusso. Daniel might have something for your ass. Daniel got something for your ass. So you better be prepared for Daniel, right? You better make it about your students, because Daniel, actually Johnny beat the brakes off of Kreese too, but what happened? I think Robbie stopped him or something, and he ended up slamming Robbie's head into the locker and knocked his punk ass out. That man, there was so much good about. Was that in the finale? There was so much good about season 3 for it not to have. Well, no, it did have a big brawl. It did have a big brawl. That was when, because Cobra Kai went to Daniel's house, and yeah, there was a big brawl, but not anything on the level of that fight was dope, but it wasn't on the level of that school brawl. That school brawl season 2 was something else, man. But anyway, so Mara Dueña, who plays Miguel, who credited the showrunners for thoughtfully integrating Ecuadorian heritage into Miguel's story, acknowledged that the world of Cobra Kai doesn't always reflect the diversity of its San Fernando Valley setting, which according to 2019 U.S. Census figures is 42% Hispanic. If you live in the Valley and really the greater Los Angeles area, you know there are so many different Latinos, Black people, people of Asian descent, he said. And while our show is catching up, I think a lot of shows, like everything in Hollywood, feel like they're catching up slowly. Now, this points out, according to U.S. Census figures, because this show's filmed in Atlanta. It's not filmed in California. It's filmed in Atlanta, right? And according to the U.S. Census figures, Hispanics comprise 5% of the population of Atlanta and 10% of the population of Georgia. And I imagine the majority of them live up around Dalton, where they in North Georgia, where they took over the Walmart and everything else, and it's like this big Latino flea market. So you know. But they make up about 10% of the population of Georgia, while Asians make up 5% of the population in the city and 4% statewide. And a large percentage of the Asians are probably in Gwinnett County, right? Right around where my mom is. And, you know what, y'all don't need to know where my mom is. I said too much already. Somebody on here might be crazy. Atlanta is 48% Black, and Georgia as a whole is 32% Black. All right, so yeah, no, I'm about to read that. What's next? Okay, so all right, so here's where I wanted to end off. All right, so they did, however, confirm that introducing characters of Asian descent is definitely something that is in our plans going forward, and tease the possibility that familiar faces like Aisha, the kind-hearted Cobra Kai student played by actress Nicole Brown, who was conspicuously written out of season 3 could very well come back to West Valley High in the future. Any character who has appeared in the Karate Kid universe has the potential to return. Now, this says conspicuously written out. What Nicole Brown said is that the writers came to her and they were like, we don't really have a story for you in season 3. So it's like her parents, they sold their house, they moved, and they enrolled her in a private school after the fight. I mean, I can totally understand that. You got in this huge brawl and a kid ends up in a coma in the hospital. And her dad was like a retired Chargers player is the story. I mean, they could say they moved to San Diego and that's it. Cause it's like he played for the Chargers aren't in San Diego anymore, but at that time, I think they still were. I mean, he went back to San Diego, right? They had a house there and they sold their house in LA and, moved back to, further south, right? To get her away from the Cobra Kai Miyagi-Do rivalry or whatever was going on. And that's it. Now, they could move her back or she, they sold their house, moved, but she's in private school, but she's in the same city and she's coming back like they're, well, you need karate and whatever. They could do whatever to reintroduce her character. But I just think it's interesting that they want to introduce more characters of Asian descent because, like, I don't know what the story was with the Hilary Swank Karate Kid 4 movie, so I need to see that because maybe there's something there. There's been people talking about, will Hilary Swank, will she come back in the Cobra Kai as, maybe she's got a missing piece of Miyagi-Do karate, where is she, what is she up to? How can she play a part in continuing this story as well, right? Could that be another faction that comes in? Oh, we got Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai teamed up with Daniel and Johnny, but then, Mr. Miyagi had another student that maybe Daniel didn't even know about. And then we got Cobra Kai, or what comes after Cobra Kai? Maybe Hilary Swank is pissed off and she's going after Daniel now, right? Or she took what she learned from Mr. Miyagi and added her own thing to it, right? Or this is when I brought up Dre Parker, right, is maybe Dre is all grown up now and he comes over from China and it's like, all right, well, it's not just karate versus karate. It's a rival school. It's a kung fu school, right? And now you got Jaden Smith on the show. Jaden Smith has already been in a Netflix series. He may have been in more than one, but I know he was in the one where he was, I don't know if he was gay or bi or what. The Birth of Hip Hop show that got canceled, unfortunately. Then Will Smith is an executive producer on this show. Now, I don't know what his role is. I don't know if he's just, I'm Will Smith. And I don't know if he owns any kind of rights or what to Karate Kid, but I mean, he and his wife played a big part in, his son's Karate Kid movie. And like I said, you go watch the opening credits, every show. Will Smith is an executive producer. So I think it's possible you could see Dre Parker on here. And if you see Dre, why not bring Jackie Chan on? The only thing is Jackie Chan's more of kind of a Mr. Miyagi type character, but maybe, I don't know, maybe Jaden, maybe Dre, I can't see Dre being a bad guy because he's the Karate Kid too. But maybe Dre beefs with, maybe Dre has beef with Cobra Kai or something, or a new group. I don't know. There's so much that they can do with this story, and they want to do spinoffs and other stuff I've been seeing. Like you could have a whole Cobra Kai verse, right? Like you got the Berlanti verse on the CWDC stuff. They could do that with Cobra Kai. If people watch it, they'll watch it, right? I'll watch it just because it's martial arts and I like it, right? You get a chance to escape, 30 minutes, 30, 40-minute episodes. You got 10 episodes, you watch it, enjoy it, and move on. And I mean, it's a cool thing. It's like almost like a 7 or 8 hour movie, instead of like a hour and a half, 2 hour Karate Kid movie where, you cram all this stuff into 2 hours where what Daniel LaRusso, in 3 months is winning the All Valley High Championship. And that's like unbelievable. But then can you skip years, a couple of years in a 2 hour movie? How do you do that without these, cheesy 80 training montages like you get in Dragon Ball and Rocky and all that good stuff from the 80s. I'm talking about OG Dragon Ball. But I think Z might have had some training montages too. I don't know. I really haven't seen Z, so I wouldn't know. But if every character in the Karate Kid universe has the potential to return, I mean, hell, you could have the teacher from the Jaden Smith Karate Kid send students to America, and they like come to Chinatown, and they've got like their racist kung fu school, and now they're out trying to open a school in Reseda, and now they got beef with Daniel and Johnny. And then it's like, here comes Dre, like, yo, man, I beat these guys. Let me help you guys out, because your karate stuff is, you're going to need more. And then you could bring in Jackie Chan, and now you got like this Karate Kid meets karate meets kung fu to fight evil racist Chinese kung fu. But I don't know. I mean, that would get more Asians in the show, but you know what? I'm sorry. I gotta see SJW folks. They're gonna find something to get offended. Oh, why do the Chinese people gotta be the bad guys now? Isn't that so what? This is an attack on China? And look, man, people are always gonna find something to be offended about, right? All this stuff that, they're like, oh, well, Johnny's making fun of immigrants and this and that. That's kind of satire, Johnny. It's kind of a commentary on the culture, the society. Even season 3, like if they're going to get offended about stuff, what about like season 3 when it started out and they're like, we're going to let students hug it out. We're not going to resort to violence, right? And then like Sam was going to fight Hawk, and Hawk is like, oh, she's violating my safe space and all of this. And the counselor, like, it goes from, Hawk was the one provoking them, and now like Sam's the one in trouble. And then Kreese turned around and flipped it on Johnny and Daniel at the city council meeting, right? He's like, well, I'm just a veteran. I'm trying to make my way, and I'm trying to run a good, clean business. And I don't know, like these guys they're like Daniel's wife is, saying he's a crazy lunatic. And then he flips it around on her like, well, I actually have a restraining order against your wife. I think you guys are violent. And wasn't it your student that was responsible for, kicking a student over, in the big fight that caused a student to become paralyzed and in a coma? And, I wonder where they get that from. You need to do something about that temper, right? Y'all are perpetuating the stigma of mental illness and post-traumatic stress disorder on Vietnam veterans. I'm just an old man that's just trying to give back to the community and run a good, clean business, right? Like he just all this crap that, and I mean, I don't want to call it, because there is some truth to it, there is some good to it, but it gets overused to the point where it's like the boy who cried wolf, right? It's like at some point there is no wolf. Why are you crying? Shut up, right? Kind of how I felt about Star Wars Theory. Cried wolf twice about Lucasfilm Disney, but he's got little kids who follow him, and they'll defend him to the end, because little gullible ass children. It's like kind of Cobra Kai kind of deals with that, right? Believe anything, because because they trust that person, right? They see them as an authority figure, even though they're not an authority figure. They've given them that authority, right? But my point is, regardless of what they do, what the writers do, there's some people always going to be offended by something. And that's why when people ask me about Star Wars, because I'm actually preparing a video, that was the video I wanted to release today, and it would have been a lot shorter than this because it's scripted, is so y'all can look for this in a few days. The big mistake that Cobra Kai is learning from Star Wars, something like that. I forget the name of the title exactly. I already had the title for the video, and it's halfway written, right? But there's another one of these, people that wrote a piece on how Cobra Kai is making the exact same mistake Star Wars did. And it's funny because I did a Facebook Live while I was walking around my neighborhood, and I was saying that exact thing that they said Cobra Kai is doing wrong. I said Cobra Kai does this thing better than Star Wars, the sequel saga, did. And you're like, well, what did they do? Well, I'm not going to tell you now because I don't want this video to be an hour, 2 hours long. I'm going to just say you'll have to stay tuned for when I get the video written. I'll probably write it tomorrow, but I'm not going to post it tomorrow. I need to spread out how I upload stuff. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow will be a Star Wars video scripted off the dome. I don't know. But I don't really want to talk to you guys about like stuff I'm working on behind the scenes and stuff. Cause at the end of the day, my YouTube strategy is my YouTube strategy, but I've been uploading a lot of different kinds of content and videos, really cause I'm testing something out. And one person started, flapping off at the keyboard. Right. And I was like, bro, you need to chill, man. Like, you need to chill. I'm testing stuff. And what I'm going to tell you what I'm testing. I'm trying to figure out what the best days and times are to upload videos. That way I can kind of start to set a schedule for when I want to post videos. And then that allows me to plan and start working on things in advance. So I'm not just sitting here like, oh, I got to make a video. And then, because that's how you get burnt out, or at least that's how I do, right? It doesn't matter if I'm making $100 a month or $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month, right? You say, well, it's work. It's your work, and you need to just sit down and suck it up. Everybody else gets up and goes to work. Well, you know what? If you want to make a good video, like when my channel was really popping, I only made 3 videos a week, sometimes only 2. Sometimes only 1, right? And even what I do is I sit down, I had at least 2, maybe 3 days to write the video, film it, edit it, and get it posted. 2 or 3 days to do all of that instead of, all right, today I'm writing the video, now I got to film it, now I got to edit it and do all. That's not a good way to run a YouTube channel. Sometimes stuff happens. Sometimes you do get burnt out and you need a break, right? That's why they say you have a YouTube strategy. So, all these Hunter, Final Fantasy, I'm going to tell y'all now, those videos are not going to stay here. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to move them to the other channel called Urban Acolyte. I'm not going to post to Urban Acolyte Gaming. I'm going to say this is my weeb channel. It's going to have anime and Final Fantasy and, all Japanese kind of inspired stuff. And it'll be the hero's journey in anime and Final Fantasy games, right? Because to me, those things are all related, right? Like when I start showing the ninja class or job on Final Fantasy 14, you're gonna be like, there's a lot there in common with Naruto. And I'm like, well, you know what? If I start doing Naruto videos, then it's like, here, you hear I'm playing the ninja. Now you can watch an anime about ninjas, right? Ninja stuff. So those videos are going to go to Urban Acolyte. That's the name of the channel, Urban Acolyte. This channel is technically it's Urban Acolyte TV, that I named it that a long 4 years ago. If I could change it, I would. I would just have this be Urban Acolyte, but it's not. Right now, it's Urban Acolyte's Holocron. I think I'm gonna change it back to Urban Acolyte TV because that's actually what the name is when you type in the URL youtube.com/c/Urban Acolyte TV. Right. So here I'm gonna keep it mostly Star Wars, Cobra Kai, and Marvel. I have DC videos, but I don't know what DC's doing. Marvel is going ham. Scarlet Witch and Vision, WandaVision is coming out. I'm planning on doing not reaction like reacting, but my reaction / review videos of the episodes. So I'm ready for Friday to get here, and it kicks off on Friday, right? 15th, to start doing that. And that's really going to be the jump off to me really covering the MCU starting in phase 4. Yeah, once I get all of this data and I see, okay, these are the best days to upload. Maybe it's 2 days a week. Hell, maybe it might just be 1 day a week, and there's one video that comes out a week. So if you're looking for news, reviews, updates, and all, I'm not that guy anymore, right? I like going off the dome, doing this, talking about an article, but even with that, I want to, like the other article, I'm going through writing it in my words, and this is what I think, and boom, 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 have the video under 20 minutes, preferably around 15. The rest of the stuff, reviews, not really reviews, but more discussions, the hero's journey, the themes I see, to open that up, right? It's not my job to really teach all this stuff, because if I'm teaching you, I'm telling you what I want you to think. I'm just giving you something to help you look at this stuff in a different light, to think deeper about it, so that you guys can turn around and have those conversations, or that you can start to think this way about real life situations, because that's the whole point, right? It's the hero's journey in geek culture to help you apply those lessons to your real life, right? So, I'm not trying to get caught up in all this other stuff. Star Wars Theory doesn't understand Star Wars. I'm actually going to do it, and the people got mad, but everybody who's in the Facebook group, they've been waiting for me for a year, because that all came from my man Eric. Told me that, he was like, yo, man, you need to look at Star Wars Theories. Like, this dude did a reaction video to what Freddie Prinze Jr. said, and he doesn't get it. And I was in the airport on my way to a Kung Fu seminar to train with my Sifu. I watched the video because I had nothing else to do, and I'm like, wow. Like, I was just like, because it's like, I don't understand. I don't understand this, and I don't understand, like, how is he not gray? And I'm like, bro, what the fuck have you been talking about these last 3-4 years? Like, you don't get it at all. And, how would you know? You don't watch his channel. When I say I don't watch somebody's channel, I mean, that means I don't go to YouTube and watch them, but I have obviously seen videos, right? I have done YouTube research on all of the top performing Star Wars channels. I've seen their videos, right? Their top performing videos. I've sat and watched them and listened to them and cringed through some of them. And I was like, that was when I decided, it was like, yo, man, I don't like watching a lot of these people, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to be part of the Star Wars community if I don't want to watch and engage with what they're doing, right? I don't want to engage in the conversations that are happening right now. If I could get somebody to do the research for me, I would, but at the same time, that doesn't help me, because then I just look at the homepage and see, oh, this is what I think they're talking about, and go from there. But I don't actually know, like, there's a lot of missing pieces there that I'm not going to get into because I'm trade secrets on how to succeed at YouTube, and I can't get that away for free. Read Daryl Eve's book that comes out in February, right? All the stuff that I'm like, yeah, I can't talk about that. Get Daryl Eve's book that's coming out in February if you want to succeed on YouTube. You'll have kind of the skeleton, right? You have the skeleton, and there's some stuff that's going to be in there that I don't even know. So I'm getting the book too because I know there's stuff in there that, and he told us, he was like, yeah, there's some stuff in here that's coming out later, but you can start to learn it now if you read the book. And that's how he got it, because we were like, yo, man, why we got to buy this book? You taught us everything that's in it. It was like, well, not everything. Get Daryl Eve's book if you want to succeed on YouTube. And if you get it and say, Prince, I got the book, now tell me everything. No, you got to pay Daryl. Right. So that's all I really got for this one. We're off the dome. Don't forget 12-week superhero. This is not a marketing. This is, yo, man, it's a goal on the program. I'm writing it this week. I need people to help me test it out. Cause I can't do it. I can start it, but in about 3 weeks, I'm going to be back with my coaches. I'm doing an apprenticeship. I'm getting a certification, fitness certification, and I have to actually do the workouts. I got to start over because I got injured last year doing it when I was almost at the end, but I was too many injuries. So I can't be running around trying to test this program and doing this other thing. Like they're at some point, they're like, yo, man, whatever workouts you're doing, stop. Do nothing but this, because you're going to get hurt. You're going to get injured, with the volume of training that they're going to be putting on us, right? And part of it now that, because I'm basically going through the whole thing after having already gone through it, part of it is understanding, okay, this is sore. I need to rest. I need to rest this and only work on this part of the workout, right? Like I was trying to do everything in every workout. And it's like, no, part of the test is to be able to step back, because then when you start coaching people through this stuff, and they say, hey, I'm hurt and I need to adjust this, or I can't do this today. So you understand because you've been through it. And then they say, but you better not train anybody as hard as we're training you guys, because that's, we're doing this to get you ready to pass the test. With your client, there isn't a test. It's just, they have time and they have a goal. And if they aren't ready, then it's just not ready. And you just have to, be willing to accept that, right? It's part of the mindfulness part of that training. So yeah, like I would totally just do the program myself and then come out, 3-4 months with no shirt on. And y'all like, yo, man, you had that newlywed COVID-19 weight. What happened? How did you get shredded? Well, I got this 12-week superhero program. And, you can't give yourself a super soldier serum in the Vitarays machine, but you can do this, right? I would love to do that. I'd love to stun on some folks like that, but I can't, right? I got something else I'm doing to get ready for another program, right? But I'm gonna do some of it. And I gotta, though, the people who trained with me in the past, there's another thing. I'm also going with a new app. And so I need to test the app too. This app, I think, will let me communicate with people better because, unlike with the other one, I had trouble. Like I'd have to record stuff, upload it to YouTube, and then put it in the app. And with this, I just pull out my phone. Hey, y'all, what's going on? I need to see you guys demonstrate dabba dee da. And so just prop up your phone, hit record, and post it and let me see it, and then I can check it, and it's all right there in the app. I don't have to get on my computer. That was the other thing with the other stuff I use, where I had to get on my computer and I didn't have internet access when I first got here, like steady access. So it just, it messed up all of my coaching and everything. So, so that's that. So like, there's a lot of stuff I'm testing, right? My app, my ability to deliver the program, the actual program, my ability to coach people through the program, get them results. And then I don't know what the results are going to be, right? Somebody might come out looking like, Thor. Somebody might come out look like Captain America or Bucky and the Winter Soldier, whatever. I don't know. So, I'm just trying to see what results it gets, right? Need people to be test subjects. So if that's you, click the link, fill out the form. I'll be in touch with you. This is me going off the dome. That's all I got for this one. So y'all keep on breathing, and I'll holler at you in the next video. Acolyte